Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I realized I have never done like an official read aloud review. So today is the day. Stick around. Yeah, I was kind of going back through my videos and I realized maybe I've touched on these a couple of times in some of my reviews of specific units. But I don't think I've ever just done like, here are the books we've read aloud and here is what we thought about them. So I'm gonna do that today. We're gonna go like way back, but mainly because I did a terrible job of sticking with read alouds. Now we have picked back up on that, and I'm hoping that we can kind of hold on tight to it. I think our getting back into going to the library, I think that's really helping. And I have kind of some other thoughts and ideas to kind of help us with that. But these are just going to be like chapter book read alouds. I will still give you guys my unit picture book reviews when I do the actual units. Yeah, I think that's going to be the easiest because if you guys have ever seen, I've tried to remember with my unit reviews, the books that we pull out for those specific units and put on the shelves. I try and review those as well when I review the particular unit. These are going to be like chapter books that I actually read aloud. Again, starting from like the very, very beginning, of course, we have Charlotte's Web. We loved it. My daughter has asked to read it again. We will likely come back to it. We're just in the middle of something else. And so yeah, classic. You can't go wrong with Charlotte's Web. I think she was like maybe 4 when I first started reading this to her. And yeah, we would just kind of read as we could. Most of the time it was at bedtime. And yeah, we loved it. Next up, I tried, okay, I have to admit, I've never read any of these. Never. In all of my reading I did as a child, these were never on the list. And that is Little House in the Big Woods. We got that far, if you guys can see there. And she wasn't digging it. But that was shortly after we finished Charlotte's Web. And so, yeah, she was still fairly young and it just wasn't doing what she wanted it to do. Then I found the little, what are they called? The little picture books, that kind of go through the same story and things like that. And those worked a lot better for her. Those now, she is picking up and kind of reading on her own. So I do want to revisit these, because obviously I hear them. It's like you're not a real homeschooler if you don't read them or something. So I don't know. Maybe that's not necessarily true, but it definitely seems like most everybody reads them, at least, 1 or 2 in the series. So we'll try it again. I don't really know. We'll see how it goes. Nonetheless, it's beautiful at least, so that helps. Next up, I found these. I think this series, I don't remember where I heard it from, but Sophie Mouse. We love Sophie Mouse. I originally had gotten one of these, I don't remember which one, as a reader for my daughter. And we learned that while she could read them, it was still quite a bit overwhelming for her. She was around 5-ish, maybe 5.5. No, she's not even 6 yet. So she was around 5 at that point. And yeah, she could read it, but it was just a little overwhelming. So it worked really, really well as a read aloud because it was simple enough for her to follow. And there were all these cute pictures, and the chapters were small enough and simple enough that we could read 2 or 3 at a time, and she would sit for plenty of that. And yeah, so we really love Sophie Mouse. I actually need to get a few more of them for her. and because this is all that we have. So I need to add a few more to our collection. She may even be in a spot where she would want to try reading these on her own again. But either way, love, love, love Sophie Mouse. Next up, we tried Finding Wonders. Y'all, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. We got that far. And I guess maybe I just had, I feel like maybe I had a different expectation for this book. I did. Originally, when I purchased this book from Book Outlet, I thought this was going to be a picture book. Then it came and it was a chapter book. I'm like, okay, that's not a big deal. We can still read it. We'll just read it as a read aloud instead of a fun picture book. We couldn't. We couldn't. Both her and I, we tried. And I don't know what it is. It's something about the way it's written. It's written kind of in like diary form, but not really. It's also kind of like poems or something. I don't know. It got to the point where it was kind of hard to follow what was actually happening. Things seemed to be very choppy. I don't know. And I really wanted to like it. And we may try and come back to it. I just don't know. I don't know. It did not do for me what I had hoped. So yeah, pictures are, I mean, the cover is beautiful. There are no pictures on the inside. But yeah, we've tried a couple of series, but not too many, just literally like a couple of them, or a few of them. And this one was probably, out of those three, this one was her favorite. And we were a little sad to find out that there's only 4 books in the series. And I could not find any information if there was going to be any more, or if that was just it, or what was happening. So we are a little bummed about that, but I did find some, another series that's similar. It seems like this kind of theme here is kind of popular. And so I found a couple that we're gonna try and see if we like it. But that is Magic on the Map. Y'all, she loved these. She loved these. Like I said, there are 4 of them, and it is it's not 2 twins, it's twins, Molly and Finn, and they get home from their last day of school, and Dad has a magic camper in the driveway. Long story short, the magic camper takes them to different places across the country, and they have to complete some kind of task, and then the magic camper gets them, takes them home. Mom and Dad don't know that they've been gone. It was just really fun. They were just really good. It was really easy read for her. She followed along. This was one of those that she just would not let me put down. There is a little bit of pictures, but really not much. As you guys can see, I would say there's definitely less pictures in Magic on the Map than there is in Sophie Mouse. This was a really good and easy transition to go from Sophie Mouse to Magic on the Map. This was good. That was like, kind of a step up to Magic on the Map. But like I said, there's only 4 of them. So we've read all 4 of them, and I don't know if there's any more coming out. If there is, I would love that. But like I said, I did find 2 other series that are similar. One of which there's already a whole bunch of books. And so I'm looking forward to getting those in the mail and trying those. Okay, moving on. So sorry. I found this actually at Ollie's when we were doing Living Off the Land. And it actually turned out to be kind of cool. But it's the Oregon Trail. It's just in book form. So we actually only made it through like one round, because it can take quite a long time, because you go through, you read to a certain point, and then you have to make a decision, and then it tells you to go to this page, and then you read and you get to a decision, and then so it can take a long time. So by the time we finally ended our journey, we did not make it to our destination. I was tired. I was like, no, I'm done reading for a little while. There are some pictures. It was fun. It really went great with the living off the land unit, or if you're doing like, you know, anything with westward expansion, homesteading. Obviously, it's the Oregon Trail. So anything like that, these were fun. It looks like there's a couple in the series as well. I didn't pick any more up. This was plenty for what we needed. And it says there are more than 20 possible endings. So it's the gift that keeps on giving if you have enough air and enough time to get through them all. But yeah, this one was a fun one. It just was long. Okay, we are getting close to the end here. These last three actually have happened in the last like week, which is, like I said, we kind of trucked along a little bit, and then we took quite a bit of a break, and then it was like we just picked up and we're just going on with it. I grabbed this from Book Outlet not too long ago. When did maybe like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? I don't know. But I did a Book Outlet unboxing haul deal thing video for you guys, and that's when I had gotten this. We've gotten a little over halfway, around halfway, and my daughter just meh. We both are just meh. Not bad, not great. I am interested to see what happens at the end. I'd like to know just kind of how the story ends, because we've gotten so far into it. And there are parts of it that I like. I do like that we see a variety of different students with different needs. I like that the teacher comes in and she's doing things differently. And she really kind of has the needs of the children at the forefront. There are aspects of the book that I like and that I enjoy. There's just something that's not capturing my daughter's attention. Yeah, but I'm finding, if you guys have noticed kind of the trend here, I'm finding that she at this point is in more of like an adventure type book. Like what's gonna happen next, and you know, she's just kind of in that stage. And this just is not an adventure filled book, so maybe that's kind of why it's not capturing her. But yeah, nonetheless, it's good. There are aspects that I like. It's just not holding her attention at this point. This one, we got this from the library yesterday. Okay, yesterday, like of the recording of this video, yesterday we went to the library. I read this book yesterday. So if that tells you anything, we actually have read several books from this series. We just don't own any of them because we were getting them from the library. And then we took a break from the library for a while. And so we just went back yesterday to the library. And like I said, we got this and we have read it. And it reminded me how much we loved this series. And so I may consider putting some in our home library, but there are so many that we may just stick to our actual public library. Anyways, that is Magic Tree House. This one is Mummies in the Morning. No idea why she picked this one, but she loved it. Literally, this entire book I read yesterday. Now, it's not that long, but I mean, if you're just sitting and listening to the whole thing in one, I did break it up in two parts. I took a break to eat dinner, and then we came back to it. But we love this series. Lots of good books. It's really easy for her to follow. Now, I will say this one in particular, really kind of something to say on both of these, Magic on the Map and Magic Treehouse. Magic is in the title. Magic is included. It's a magic camper that flies away and takes these kids to other places. This is a magic treehouse that takes the kids away, into all of these different places and time periods and things. So if that's not something that you are interested in or don't want to expose your children to or anything like that, then these are not books that I would suggest for you. Now, I will say, I didn't find anything inappropriate. There's nothing that I could see as, at least I can speak on behalf of the Magic on the Map because I've read all 4 books in the series. There's no spells or witches or, anything like that. Magic Treehouse, I can't speak to all of the books, but the ones that we have read, I've not seen anything like that. It's just a magic treehouse. This particular one, Mummies in the Morning, does have some parts, there's a part where they're describing the mummy in the tomb and it gets a little gross. My daughter and I kind of made funny yucky sounds and just tried to make it kind of more of a humorous gross versus less, I don't know my words, versus being a scary gross, because it talks about being able to see bones through the cloth and things like that. So something to be mindful of. It also talks about the mummy, it's a queen and they're trying to get her a book of the dead so that she can transition into her afterlife. So we didn't have any problems with that. I don't have any issues there. I feel like those are good talking points if my daughter is curious or wants to know about that. Those are things we would then look into. Why do they believe those things? That kind of stuff. But again, just something to be mindful of if that's not something that you want to include. That was part of this particular book. Last but not least, we are finally doing it, because why do it when everyone else is doing it when you can just be way late to the party? But we're finally doing it. We have gotten, I don't know if you guys can see there how far we are. So far so good. The chapters are not actually chapters. Some of them, we actually were kind of laughing at some. This is perfect example. I told my daughter, I said, we were reading and I said, well, why don't you read chapter 10? She's like, that's the shortest chapter I've ever seen. And so the chapters are kind of broken up, sort of in scenarios almost. It seems like maybe even sometimes the chapters, it's almost like the hour almost. Anyways, and so yeah, there are a little bit of pictures in this one, but it's still very easy to read. It's very light. There's been a couple of pictures we've come across that were funny. So we have not finished this one, so I can't actually give you a full review, but we are, we finally are reading this one. So far so good, but we just started, so we'll see how far we get through with that one. And those are our read-alouds. I will try and do a better job of keeping up with these for you guys. Like I said, this is read-aloud since the beginning of school for us. So I, again, just had realized that I had never actually done one of them for y'all. So that is that. Those are all of our read-alouds. Yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.